Y'all, I have a friend, a guest star today. Um, this is Daisy. She just walked up to me. I'm up at the park, and I'm pretty sure she expects some bread, and I ain't got it. So I hope she don't bite me because I ain't got her bread tax. I don't have nothing for you, Daisy. Just don't hurt me while I'm recording, okay? Okay. Ooh, let's see if we can get this right. Okay. So I've been thinking about why I couldn't fit into this shape or expectation. And yesterday I was kind of talking about this in the gap between that and reality, the gap of the resume and what my life actually looks like, between the person that I and other people think I am and who I actually am. Um, and it's one of those things. I try to be reflective, I try to be introspective, and I really thought the problem was me. And that I just couldn't, I could no longer do the hard things, I guess, that I couldn't commit. I don't know. Couldn't just pick the one thing, right? I was scattered. Um, okay. She's grooming herself. Um, so I think what I'm reflecting on is, it wasn't just all me. It was also that container that I was trying to put myself in and that I was allowing others to put me in. And so let me kind of dive deeper into that. What I mean is, you know, I gave kind of that analogy of the staircase, and basically, you pick the thing, you climb, whether it's a ladder or a staircase, whatever. It's like you're supposed to check off the boxes, right? And you're supposed to get better. You're supposed to get promoted or get paid more, or just like continuously go up and up and up. And yeah, it's. I think it just goes into, if you think linguistically and thinking about how language shapes how we think, and in the United States, that's just part of our societal culture. Um, and so I tried to fit into that container for years. And in the beginning, I was doing well, frankly. Um, but I also was trying to pick the one thing, um, trying to find whoop, 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 whoop. There we go. Will she stay? No. Let's see here. She's doing weird things. Okay. I can deal with that. Hi. So just, yeah, trying to um make the career fit on paper, or like, um just, yeah, picking the thing and going up that ladder. Um and frankly, I don't know if the ladder even existed. That's a whole nother angle to think about, but it doesn't fit me. It doesn't work. Yeah, I don't really don't even think it exists. I think it's just something that honestly probably worked for past generations. And it's funny because me and a friend were just talking about this. Um, but the ladder's gone. If it ever was there, it's not there now. Um, so it's kind of crazy to think trying to fit into something that didn't even exist for us. Man. And it's like, I don't even blame. Okay, we're not going to work today, huh? Let's just take you off this. Um, I don't even blame, like, parents my dad is great. I was very lucky. I can't even complain. Um, but even like, I don't blame his generation. I don't blame, um, my sister's generation. My sister is in a different generation than me. Um, and what worked at that time, there's been too many changes technology wise, culturally, that just the workforce looks a lot different, um, than it did for them. And that's not their fault. They can only teach us what they know, you know, and then it's up to us to take those skills and progress and hopefully do better, do the same or better, so yeah, I think I just internalized so much of that I thought it was just solely my fault. Um, but here's what I've been thinking about and what I think I know now. That staircase, the ladder was just one type of container that worked for a while. It worked for certain generations. But the container was the problem. Not my interest, not my focus, not my ability to commit. It was the box I was trying to squeeze into. Come on, round peg in a square hole does not work. And so I was never going to fit into the staircase shaped life. And that was just not the shape that my life took. My life is a squiggle. And it doesn't go up in a straight line. It does not even go in a uniform curve. It zigzags and it double backs and it jumps around. And sometimes there's just frankly gaps, like the damn stock market. Like it stops and starts. It revisits things from different angles. It repeats stages and it just does what it wants, frankly. And it loops around on itself. But the squiggle isn't a failure. It is the shape of how life actually works. And honestly, I think that other generations have gone through squiggles before as well. It's just maybe it wasn't in their career. I think it happened in other stages of their life. And so here's the part that I also had to be honest with myself in, is that some parts of the squiggle did look scattered, but that's because they were. They were scattered, and they were scattered because I was trying to fit into a container that didn't make sense. So I was making choices based on that. Chasing roles, money, jobs that looked right on paper or could have looked right on paper, I suppose. But it just wasn't me. It wasn't me. And I've had some unique roles. Me and my partner actually talk about all the bazillion different roles I've had. And for example, I think I can name two distinctly, and I think there have been others. When I was in college, I think we all try different things when we're in college, right? And I think you should. I think that a great time to explore different careers and different things so that you can know what you do and don't want to do. I was a Cutco knife representative, and I still have those knives. And I made just enough to get back the money that I invested into it. And then I stopped. I think those types of sales roles are not for me. I can sell things, don't get me wrong, but I just think like kind of the almost like car dealership mentality that's just not how my brain works. That's not how I Um, I'm in, it's funny. My friends call me an enabler because I let them shop and do what they want with their money. But like, I'm not going to try to convince somebody to buy something if they don't want to. That's just not me. So I didn't climb that ladder. Um, and it's fine because I was in a different container anyway. I was in college. So I had other ways to, spend my time. Um, and then the other one that I did later after grad school was, I got my, life insurance license and, did that for a little bit and then stopped because again, just kind of that relationship networking, business it's just not how my brain works. It's not how I want to make my sole, financial security situation happen. Um, and even though those are scattered pieces and they don't actually show up on my resume anymore, um, they did teach me things. And I think that's also an important thing to take away, right? Is that they taught me certain things, one about myself and about those industries that I will now always have a part of me. Um, but they weren't part of my squiggle, right? They were the outliers. They are what could possibly, make things feel and look scattered. And, yeah, they weren't part of that the mold that was actually what could fit my life and not they were just something that I was doing to like make money essentially. let's just let's just be frank, right? Let's just keep it all the way real. um so when I take those outliers out and I look at the other roles that I've had, um and the reason, that I chose those things, um, then that's when I can start seeing a better pattern and things don't look as scattered. There's at least some relation that makes sense, right? Linguistics, anthropology, Peace Corps, Korea, higher education, um, art and photography and writing and illustration, those aren't random. Those aren't scattered. They're all connected and they all come from the same lens. They all come from the same place. They all come from, the instinct that I have to see how people make meaning, how systems work, and how communities form. And so the outliers weren't ever truly me. They look, um, they were a part of me, right? I learned from them, but they were pieces of a ladder that didn't exist. And I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one who who did this, right? Um, there is an ant on me. Okay. And it was a red ant, so I had to get that one off me. But I think that, people look at their life and they see the squiggle and they think that I'm doing it wrong and I'm not climbing right. I'm not advancing. I'm not moving in the right direction. But the squiggle is moving. It's just not moving in a straight line. And straight lines were never the only way to live life. And I think I had to own that the staircase was not my shape. The squiggle is. The squiggle is mine. And so, even though the container made me look scattered, um, the container made me think that I was the problem when it wasn't. And so, once I stopped trying to climb, once I stopped measuring my life in, a shape that was never mine, I could finally see that the squiggle was there. I could finally see it as what it was, and that it wasn't a failure to advance, but a pattern, a way of moving that brought me back to similar things, but deeper, right? With more knowledge and wisdom and experience, and from a different angle, and with more of myself. The thread has always been there. I just couldn't see it when I was trying to climb. So here's my question for you. What container are you trying to fit in that just doesn't work? And what would happen if you let yourself move in a shape that actually works for you? Also, Daisy decided to stay. She just sitting and sunbathing. Go where you're wanted, folks. Don't try to stay where you're not.